when it comes to pilot mental health, there's a culture of concealment.
If I'm on an antidepressant, I would immediately not be able to fly airplanes.
If the intention of the aeromedical system is to ensure that we have fit people doing the job, are we achieving that?
The new documentary Lie to Fly follows the growing movement calling for reform of the Federal Aviation Administration's strict rules around pilot mental health. The film focuses on a recent incident involving an Alaska Airlines pilot who attempted to shut off the engines of a passenger plane mid-flight. Joseph Emerson was arrested and told police he had not slept in 40 hours and was depressed and had recently experimented with mushrooms. Emerson said he was afraid to seek mental health treatment, fearing it could jeopardize his career.
Joining us now is the film's director, Carmen Garcia Durazo. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Now, I realize people can suffer mental illness at all times from various different occupations, but I'm wondering, when it comes to pilots, is there something about their job that is contributing to this?
Well, I'd argue so. I mean, first of all, it's an incredibly high stress job. You know, you're often away from your family for a long period of time. You're often sort of changing your sleep schedule and things like that, things that sort of, you know, most medical professionals would advise against in terms of keeping a consistent mental health profile. But aside from that, what we really examine in the film is the sort of broader context, the broader system of the FAA, which makes it, in its current state, incredibly difficult for pilots to seek mental health care in a variety of forms.
And so the current rules, once a pilot brings it up to anyone that he is maybe seeking even mild depression, treatment for mild depression, is he grounded? What are the rules?
So basically, if a pilot were to disclose, you know, something like grief, depression, or something perhaps more severe, you know, perhaps, you know, the desire to get on medication or things like that, what happens then is that the pilot is then placed in deferment. So their AME or their aeromedical examiner basically advises a period of observation and grounding, yes, during which usually the pilot has half pay and they are not able to work. And so their sort of whole professional life is upended during that time. And sort of one more thing to add to that is then usually that process, you know, which has sort of its own vulnerabilities, if you will. There is no sort of registered time frame in which that needs to end. So you have this sort of period of purgatory, if you will, during which the professional, you know, is docked pay and has no idea what his future or her future will be like.
So is the screening process not rigorous enough? Is that what you're saying? And is that driven by commerce, or is that driven by laziness or a lack of funding?
You know, I don't want to speak on behalf of the FAA in terms of sort of their rationale for the current system. I did find in our reporting, speaking to dozens and dozens of aviators who are not Joseph Emerson as well, that the process certainly is in need of reform. I don't think pilots are calling for less rigor in the process. In fact, I think they're calling for more rigor in terms of a greater scientific understanding of how we can treat mental illness these days. Because the question really is not whether or not we want depressed or ill pilots flying our planes. It's whether or not the flying public would be better off if we treat those pilots or if we don't treat those pilots.
Interesting. Well, Lie to Fly is streaming now on Hulu. You can follow Carmen on social media. Carmen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.